Hi, we are the models for Elizabeth Carson Racker, and we're going places with Rick Rollins.
This is Going Places. Interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places, and we want you to come along. Welcome to this edition of Going Places. It's fashion all half hour long with Elizabeth Carson Racker. We're going to show why her passion for fashion produces what it does. Stay with us. Going Places starts right now. Welcome to this edition of Going Places. When I tell you that Elizabeth Carson is synonymous with fashion, I would be, that's an understatement for me, because I remember the first time that I saw her clothing grace the runway, and it ripped it like nobody's business. And I was like, I have got to know her. Now, a friend of ours, Eric Green, had told me there is this girl that you have got to see. Her fashions are amazing. And I was like, okay. When I saw the fashions, I knew I needed to meet the person, the mind, because I love a good creative. And when I met Elizabeth Carson Racker, she did not disappoint. Won't you welcome to Going Places, my little baby sister in fashion. This is Elizabeth Carson Racker. Okay, so we're celebrating your 10th year.
With Tampa Bay.
With Tampa Bay Fashion
Yes.
Week. How long have you been doing this?
Over 16, 17 years.
Okay, so I always ask this, little Elizabeth, were you running around making clothes for your dolls? How did you do this? How did you come into the fact that I want to do this?
I was running around in my mom's clothes and heels.
Okay.
And posing like I was a model on the runway. But age 12 is when I knew what I wanted to do. Ebony Fashion Fair came to Tampa. And I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be the producer, the model, the designer. Everything about it just changed my world. And I knew from there that I wanted to be in the fashion industry.
Now, what I think was amazing that your dad took you.
It was my daddy.
As a dad, as a girl dad, that excites me to everything. I call him the Colonel affectionately. That's just my name for him. But I can imagine him seeing you see that this is what I want to be.
Right.
That's amazing to me. Now, for those of you that don't know, Ebony Fashion Fair was one of those shows. It was a touring show that had the height of fashion. I mean, there were designers like Saint Laurent, Cardin, you name it, the list goes on. And it was the dreamchild of, or the brainchild of the late Eunice Johnson, who was married to the publisher of Ebony magazine, hence the name Ebony Fashion Fair, which later birthed a cosmetics line.
Yes.
So you're sitting there, you see this, and you go home, and what happens?
I was on the runway. Mom got me into modeling, styling clothes. I really weren't making clothes yet. I didn't start making clothes until school. So I went to Savannah College Art and Design. They taught me everything, sketching, how to develop a design, how to get my thoughts on paper. And I excelled in evening wear. It was where I really found my niche. And full circle, my first job was with Ebony.
With Ebony Fashion, I was going to say that. Okay.
It came full circle. It came back full circle.
And so you do this, and I know there must have been people that said, you'll never make a living at this, but you've proven them wrong over and over again, because you have your own collection. It's every year or so, it's at the airport. They do something in conjunction with Tampa Bay Fashion Week, and you've been there and it's been successful. You have your own boutique, Queen's Fabrics, and you've been in a former iteration of mine, Artisan Row, and so those are great things. But how do you get a chance? I was talking to Jose Alberto about this. Do you have to say at one point, I've got to put couture in its place and figure out how to do something that is more realistic and affordable?
Yes. That's where, when I first started after leaving Ebony, I had evening gowns, you know, big ball gowns with the big dramatics. And it's just, you just can't sustain on just that. So I had to come here in Florida. You know, it has to be wearable day to day. There's not many things to do for galas. So I had to find my niche. And finding those pieces that people can't be without, like my fly jackets or my wide leg pants or my skirts. Those are the things that keep me in business, and doing one-of-a-kind pieces for people who are just looking for that thing they can't find in the mall. So
That's couture.
yes.
And so one of the things when you were saying that, it is about finding a way to sustain yourself.
It's a balance.
And exactly, that's where I was going, that there must be a balance in this. So how do you keep sight of the big picture while still, knowing that for a certain amount of time you get to live your fantasy over and over again?
Usually one time a year.
Okay, one time a year,
Maybe
two twice a
yeah.
year. Because anybody that thinks that fashion shows are a lot of fun,
And
it's a lot of work, and for it
No
to be,
money.
and think about it, you're only on stage for what, 5 to 7 minutes,
Right.
and it's over.
all that
And
work.
all that work to get it done. So you were saying something about this before we go. So did you make your first prom gown, or your prom gown, or did you?
I never.
You never
prom.
sewed for yourself
No.
even before you got to
No.
before you got to
I
SCAD.
manipulated clothes and I styled for all my friends. And I did fashion shows. I put on fashion shows in high school, and anything fashion out there were coming to me, but it wasn't anything that I made. Like that producing thing that I said I want to do when I saw Ebony show, I was doing that for majority, and styling for my friends. They were coming to my closet, putting together outfits, and I would tie scarves and manipulate clothes, but I wasn't designing until I
Designing
got
at
to
the
college.
time. Okay, I hate to interrupt. We need to go to break. When we come back, we continue to talk with Elizabeth about her brother and fashion and all of that. You don't want to miss this. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. So I want to talk about this as well. You grew up around fashion and the fabulosity of it all because you come from music royalty.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about who's in the family is the music royalty.
Yes. My brother, my late brother, Gregory Jacobs, but Shock G or Humpty Hump, they was with Digital Underground.
Okay, because both of your brothers were a part of that.
And that's how
Okay.
they pulled off the Humpty and Shock G. I have two, so one was playing Shock G, one was playing Humpty, and that's how
Okay.
you can pull it off.
So Greg, he discovered Tupac.
Yes, he did.
So you knew Tupac.
I met him once. I
Okay.
did. Fabulous. What you think is who he is, and Greg loved him dearly. They had a very dynamic relationship. If you ever hear Greg talk about him, he's going to talk for hours and hours about just the friendship and the core of who Tupac was.
What's that like, growing up around not just Tupac, but that whole digital underground and music? And do you think that that also fed your passion to make sure that the beauty matched the music?
It never really paired up until recent. Greg would always come to me with, I guess after I got out of school, I would take care of his clothes. I would buy stuff, whatever I picked, he would buy. So I would style him a lot. Made a few things, but not much. But I was so young when he was in the heart of, when Humpty Dance came out, I was like 7 or 8. You know, I remember him picking me up from elementary school right when Humpty Hump and that album came out. And the kids knew more than what I knew, because when he was driving up in his red drop-top Mercedes with his whole costume out, I just saw the kids, reaching out the window. I'm like, what are they doing? And I look out, it's my brother picking me up. So it was, I knew what he was doing, but I didn't understand the level of what he was doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that, and having met Greg, he was a unique and very eccentric individual.
Brilliant.
And that's what it was. It was that brilliance that just went everywhere he went. He carried. I mean, it followed him in ways that, I mean, he'd pass a piano and the piano would beckon him.
Yeah.
Anything, an organ, because you tell a story that didn't he come to play one Sunday at your church?
Yes, he wanted to get on. I tried to stop him, but he still went up there. The harp, everything he played. I mean, he taught himself, self-taught.
Wow.
Both brothers, self-taught drums. He started off on drums and then found his way. His mom put him through the piano lessons, but he fought it for a long time until he really found his passion with the piano. They call him the piano man. So he had, that was his love.
Okay. So that, as I said, I think that probably fueled this desire for some aspect of Spotlight.
Yeah.
So when the spotlight is now, okay, it's over here on your brothers, and now it shifts to you. What's that like when you realize that I am called to do this in ways that exceed even what I thought it could be?
Even through his eyes. I think the first time he came to a show, we were driving back and he just said, you know, you're really good at this. He was like, you're doing too much. He used to always say, I'm doing too much. And I'm, a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I work all the time. And he was like, I don't know how you do it. Because he'll go to the studio, do his thing, and he was like, you're constantly working. So it was a battle between, he knew I loved my passion. He knew I was good at it, but it was, again, finding that balance of having, a life for me to do other stuff and also that. So I don't see myself, I think you know me well enough, that I don't see myself as that bright light. I do what I do on the runway, but I do doubt myself.
Let me tell you, we're at they're celebrating Elizabeth's 10 years in Tampa Bay Fashion Week. She does this whole retro collection and then she brings out the new stuff. I go backstage to tell her that she ate it and left no crumbs. And she's sitting on the floor going, was it okay? And I can't tell you what I said because we have a language of our own. But I was like, what do you mean, was it okay? There was no one. Our mutual friend, I was there and he's like, did she really make? I'm like, she made everything. Everything you saw was Elizabeth. And he was just amazed by that. And I watched people, because I see it and then I start watching the people and the people were amazed. And later you're going to be amazed because it is an amazing collection. I mean, if you don't think it, you should be proud of yourself. I'm telling you, you should be proud. Okay. Now, we talked about your brother and I want to get back to that because you have now decided that one of your newest passions is to keep his memory alive through fashion.
Yes.
So I know the people are like, well, where are you going with this? So tell us about this. Tell us about what you're doing with that.
Greg, off camera, would give the shirt off his back to anybody. So what we do in Oakland is we're with East Oakland Collective, which is an organization that gives back to the community. And they originally, the group was originally based out of Oakland. So he has hard ties in Oakland and in Tampa. So what we're doing now is we're going to mirror what we did in Oakland here in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to tie it in because the Oakland crew is like, you have to incorporate fashion. So we're going to incorporate hip hop and fashion and giving back to the community in one whole event every year here in Tampa. So that's what we're moving forward and the organization.
I remember the day that we lost Greg.
Yeah.
And it was as if it was the loss heard around the world. What do you want people to know about your brother that most people didn't know?
He was so humble. He was...
Didn't have to be.
Yeah. People would know, like he would just go anywhere.
I think
people
we bragged about him more than he never went around going, oh, by the way, I'm Humpty.
No. Yeah, he was so humble and he would give, he wasn't really in the limelight. He didn't want to be, you know. He didn't want to be in that, what is it called? That glorified type of praise. He was just, he wanted to be with the normal people and just, he walked the streets of Ybor, went into bar after bar. There was a piano, he would get on it, jam out with people in studios, leave his mark and leave, and never ask for anything. Whatever he dropped the verse for somebody, he would never ask for anything. And he would just be back in his community. He loved Tampa. He loved Tampa.
What do you think that he would have said about the collection that you've done in his honor?
Oh, it's a good question. I think he would have loved it. I think he would have loved it. I think it fit him with all his, and if you Google Humpty Hump and you'll see all of the crazy outfits that he used to wear. And if you come back and look at the collection, you'll exactly know
You'll get
where I
it.
got it from. Yeah. He would always have the fur zebra hats and big fur jackets with polka dot pants and, you know, a blue shirt that has nothing to do with it. It was just, that was who he was, you know. He would go to thrift stores, buy stuff. He would take my robes out of my bathroom and say, I'm using this on stage. You know, it was just random. And that's what I wanted the collection to be, where it fit, but it was random. It showed texture, it showed range and volume. It was fun. It was
So he's an inspiration for that. Really, before we go to break and we show you what this is about, I want to know where your inspiration comes from. Where does all of this talent come from? You got a minute, go.
I know. It always derives from African drape, African wrap, drapery, if you look. And that's where it derived from in school. And everything from there is true. We see the one-shoulder drapes, or if you see the draping in the gowns, that's where my inspiration from my senior collection was. That's what Ebony Fashion brought, and I feel like that's where I always go to when I'm looking for inspiration in that sort. But I also, colors come from me being a Florida girl, a Tampa girl. People, when I do New York fashion, they're like, you're from Florida, right? Because I use a lot of color, usually lots of prints. I love prints, I love movement, so.
Well, I got to tell you, I can't wait for y'all to see this because it is phenomenal. It really is. And we're going to show you some of the things that were inspired by in Greg's memory and to keep his legacy alive and his love for his sister, and she pays it back. So when we come back, it's fashion show time with Elizabeth Carson Racker right after this. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Well, go get you some popcorn or something like that and come on back, okay? We'll see you in whenever, okay? Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. As promised, I now am going to take you into the fashion, the couture mind of Elizabeth Carson Racker. So let's start with our first look, and this is Edwidge.
This fabric is what inspired me for the collection. It's absolutely beautiful. The white flowers, if you were at Tampa Bay Fashion Week, you saw that on my backdrop. But it has some little essence of color. So what you're gonna see, they're gonna do white, black, and the white flowers throughout. And I love a little sexy, like I said before. So you have the lace going through with the high collar.
We love a lot of sexy.
Yeah,
What do you mean about a little bit of sexy?
Yeah,
Don't even try to be modest with the
every
people.
bride wants to have a little bit of reveal.
Okay.
So this is it. So if you're on the little edge side and you like the little black and white, this will be for you for a wedding. So this is my take on bridal.
Who better to wear it than Edwidge?
Edwidge.
Okay, next is Janelle.
And when you're gonna see, Janelle's wearing my classic
Fly jacket.
fly jacket.
This is the signature
Inspire.
piece for Elizabeth
Yes.
Carson Racker.
But I added a flounce on the bottom just to give it that reveal. But this could be bride for you're on the beach, or if you're trying to do something different for you, or even mother of the bride.
Or if you want to be a mama
Right.
on your wedding night. Because
Oh
that,
yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
for so it will cover all sectors.
It's
But
beautiful.
it's one of my favorites. It's comfortable.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you really put your foot in year 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really did. And I mean, everybody was like, oh, as each piece came out.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this piece that you're gonna see next,
Yes.
oh my Jesus. Okay, come on, thank you,
Thank you,
Janelle. Now, we had Janelle, now this is Danielle, okay? Sweetie, wherever you got to go, this is how you need to go.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes.
It really is.
So we have a sequins and velvet lace, as you see. And I left a little bit of reveal on the back side, but I also overlaid it on top of sequins, which really gave it a pop.
I may just have to have a Billy Porter moment and wear that myself, because
Yes.
this is amazing.
It is. And when I showed it in Tampa Bay Fashion Week, I showed it as a male garment coming down. Because males are now, if you've seen on everything on Instagram and everything else, they're getting into more what do you call
Yeah,
it?
they want
the drape
there's
type
flow
of looks.
and
Yeah,
drapes.
there's flow and there's drape. So I wanted to do an inspiration piece on that. And I'm just showing it now on female, so it can be like
That is amazing. So it's universal.
Yes.
I can see a husband and wife fighting over who's gonna wear it this time. Okay, if he's metrosexual, yes,
and every bride
he could
wants
do
to
it.
reveal
Yes.
as well, so there could be something underneath it, and as she can take it off for the
That
reception.
is amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so come on out, ladies, real quick. Oops, be careful.
Come closer.
There we go. Now, through the magic of television, when we come back, you will see the bridal part of Elizabeth Carson Racker. So watch this, 1, 2, 3. So here we are. And this is now, so is this bridal?
This is bridal.
Okay, so second wedding.
Second wedding, beach.
I see.
Somebody who just wants to be free and comfortable.
Okay.
And something different.
Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's a take on your fly dress
Yes,
as well.
it is an
okay.
inspiration on the fly. and
It's
then
always going to be,
added
that's
the
your
fly.
signature, boo.
Yes.
I understand.
And I did the
understand.
first one that you saw with the blue and the black lace first, and then I knew I had to just do it again. And
Well, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it, and you can tell Miss Danielle is feeling herself.
Yes, she is.
Okay, bye, girl. Next. Okay. Okay, Edwidge.
There you go, Edwidge. And it's a little bit more traditional.
Where?
Maybe a little ECR sex appeal with the high slit, you know, so we don't have to have it. But it's so sophisticated that you need a little bit of sex in it.
Well, it's gonna be. Well, I forgot this Saturday morning. How y'all doing? Okay, so you look amazing,
Yes,
though.
and the
That
back is lovely with the crisscross of straps. Ooh, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, so she's lovely.
That is amazing. I mean, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That really is. But y'all think these are beautiful. Wait a minute. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, thank you, Edwidge. Appreciate you. Okay.
We have
let's see.
Janelle
Here
coming.
we come. This is, do not adjust your TV. It's a big old cloud floating on in.
Yes. So we did a tulle skirt, but we did a 3-layer. You have the white, you have the off-white, and then you have the more yellow-ish off-white. So we did a 3-tier, different color tulle. It is removable, so most brides will want to come in, do something very big, very bold, and then take it off, and then you have your gown underneath.
And this works for every
Yes.
bride, no
Yes.
matter the size, whatever. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes. And if you want your ball gown-ish, this is what it is.
Prom gown.
Prom,
yeah.
yes.
Yes, this is amazing. It's like watching the clouds while you're
Yeah.
going along on a plane. We're about to land. This is amazing. Okay, ladies, you want to join us again? This is Elizabeth Carson Racker, the Bridal Collection
Yes.
2023. Well, congratulations on 10
Thank
years
you.
and
Thank you.
for just amazing work as always. Okay?
Thank you.
More Going Places when we come back right after this. Stay with us.
None of us has ever gotten anywhere without help.
Introducing the Nonprofit Collective.
There'll be nearly 5 million pounds of food distributed in Tampa Bay.
The Nonprofit Collective is a place for our community to come together.
We serve veterans and their families.
Help at your fingertips, where community heroes reach out to make a difference,
Who comes into this market? Our friends and neighbors.
and where those who need help find help. The Nonprofit Collective, only on RHS TV.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. As promised, we are now showing a collection that is in honor of Liz's brother, who some of you knew as Humpty, some of you knew as Shock G, but we knew him as Gregory Jacobs. And I'm excited about this because this kills the runway every time. As the kids say, they eat. Welcome, Elizabeth, back. So let's talk a little bit about this. What inspired the collection?
It was him. He was a character in his own self. He didn't have any rhyme or reason to what he was wearing. It's just what he felt like. So it was a lot of texture, color. His favorite print was zebra. Favorite color was the electric blue. So in this collection, I just wanted to put together all those characters and bring everything together in a collection.
And you did, okay. Let's start. Let's show the people what you did.
This is Danielle. It's a little sexy, but it's always something with ECR designs that you're going to show a little bit of reveal.
Really?
Yes. So we
Not
did
you.
some texture with the lace, and we did have this bold print that you're going to see throughout here, and you try to the back. Just something that was different, something that was off the wall, It was a show favorite.
And it was homage to him because
Yes.
he really had an eclectic mindset.
Yes. Doing things different, something that wasn't unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Danielle.
Danielle. And then we have Janelle coming up.
Okay, come on, Janelle.
I love a long skirt, but we did a little reveal here.
A little?
Just a little reveal here with the...
This ain't for everybody.
And it's a black and white striped sequence, which I loved. Paired it up with some printed, another print here with a little bit of the lace, and again with the blue tank top underneath. So another fan favorite. And she just wears it well.
I can see why. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
And she can. And she's full figure too. So we do love the curves, as you see. So.
Because you embrace curves.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because truth be told, Elizabeth, her curves are changing, ever changing.
They're molding.
They're molding. She looks amazing. Okay, so.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Janelle.
And this was the closer. You got Edwidge and all zebra everything. So. As you see, I went crazy, but I really wanted a showstopper. A dear friend of mine and another designer, Karen Brown, she made the hat for me. And we did the leggings with a pop of zebra on the leg, and I guess my fly jackets, I did it in fur. And
I was going to say that you are known for the fly jacket. I mean, for those of you that don't understand, you would have to see more. When we have Elizabeth back on, you'll see the fly jacket.
Yeah.
It is really, it's a really staple in her collection. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
It's fabulous.
So
and again, you can wear all these pieces separately. And again, it's just influenced by my brother.
Well, I don't think we'll see that on a Sunday morning.
All right, no.
Anybody's first
But
lady.
you never know.
but come on out, ladies.
Yes, just a little taste.
So there you have it. It's a tribute to a musical genius that made hip-hop what it is today.
Yes, he did.
More Going Places right after this.
This is what we're going for.
The lighter side of sports.
JP looks like a hobo.
I can't remember ever thinking, oh, I need to look in the stands.
See, I was younger and single, so I was looking at the cheerleader.
Oh my God! Very nice.
On RHS TV.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. Before we go, I have a favor to ask of you. If you have pictures of some of the favorite places you've been or the interesting people that you've seen or some of the things that you like to do, we'd love to have you on the show in a segment we call Wish You Were Here. Here's the information. Well, we're almost out of time. I want to thank you for being with us. Again, thank you to Elizabeth Carson Racker, but most of all, thanks to you. Be blessed on your journey. We'll see you next time. Take care.